I mean, this goes beyond me and the fact that I was targeted last night at this event.
Oh, these liberals are big mad. All right, let's get into it. This is the fallout that we see from the Liberal Party of Canada for one man from the United States coming up to speak to some people in Alberta.
This increases political violence against everyone who runs for office in this country.
I'd like to ask Mr. Guilbeault where he got his definition of political violence from, because if you're anything like me, it resembles something like this. Imagine being a 53-year-old elected official who thinks somebody else's words and ideas can actually hurt you. And it's especially odd because Guilbeault here likely knows what real violence feels like. But anyways, let's continue.
We can have differences of opinion. We can bang our fist on the table when we meet. We can have strong disagreement. But to incite violence against people who disagree with you, that's not how things should be done.
Incite violence? So if he incited violence, then, Stephen, answer me this. Why isn't Tucker in jail? Because that's an indictable offense in Canada. Public incitement of hatred. 319. Everyone who, by communicating statements in a public place, incites hatred against any identifiable group where such incitement is likely to lead to a breach of the peace is guilty of an indictable offense and is liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years. Where's the RCMP, Stevie boy? Lock him up, right? The sensationalized hyperbole by this Liberal Party is physically sickening.
Contributing to the divide by coming out here and comparing Poilievre to this and making this about him? Are you not contributing to the divide by doing that? If your government has been accused...
We're not comparing Poilievre to him. I think.
Oh, really?
You're not? Have you looked at your own advertising from
Mr.
Maple MAGA? Oh, you're not. Which is funny, because how do you explain this? Or this? Or that? And not only are you guys on record of saying it, you've used your media arm to repeat that same narrative as well. But anyways, let's hear some of that far-right violence that Tucker had to say about the CBC specifically.
CBC, and I said I'm in town, which they were aware of, and I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to talk to as many Canadians as possible. And we talked to a very nice guy. I think he's new there. He's like, sure. And we call back, and actually we were speaking in Calgary earlier, and they had a CBC guy there, and I said, look, I would love to talk to the CBC. I'll answer any question you like, and I dare you to put it on TV. No.
Pretty scary stuff. If Guilbeault's that upset about his name getting mentioned, I guess he missed the entire part of what Tucker had to say about Chrystia Freeland. But at the end of the day, it was just another dog and pony show from the perpetually butthurt Liberals in the Liberal Party of Canada. Nothing that Tucker said incited any violence. In fact, it was very motivational for a bunch of people that live in a country that have been downtrodden by a tyrannical, overbearing government for at least the last 5 years. And I find it super odd for people that can be so mean to their citizens to get so bent out of shape the second that they have any criticism from somebody outside of our country. Tucker came to Alberta and shared the stage with some of the greatest thinkers that we have. Part of what Stephen Guilbeault said was right. There's nothing wrong with sitting down and sharing ideas and hashing some things out. But there is something wrong with completely mischaracterizing things that were said. Nobody's expecting the Liberals to have a shred of decency or honesty at this point. The stench of desperation is all over the Liberal Party, and it's because they're habitual liars that don't care if they're gaslighting you or not. These aren't people that should be in control of a country like Canada. We're one of the most resource-rich nations in the world, and we're falling upon unbelievably hard times for our citizens right now. There's only one party to blame for this, and it's not the MAGA conservatives.